Alrighty, hey everyone, it's time for another Rec Tech Live here on a Thursday afternoon. I've got my friend Anant here from Zoho Recruit. He's coming to us live from India, Chennai, India, and it's 10:30 p.m. over there. So Anant, welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
Hey, Chris. Good morning. Yeah, it's nice to have you here.
He's the manager of
Good afternoon, perhaps. It's 1 o'clock.
He's the manager of customer success for Zoho Recruit.
Yes.
Company that is 10 years old now. They just had their 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, we did.
And they do more things other than recruiting. We'll talk about that as well. So just a quick shout outs to some of the people who are here live. Let's see who we got. Hey, Paul Reno's here. Charmaine, Rick Royal. Hey, Rick. And Shiva is here already. So hello to you all. So we have about 20 registered, and they're slowly coming on board here. All right, Anant. Let's talk about Zoho. Just give us a quick overview of who you guys are, what you guys do first.
Sure. Zoho, it's more primarily a SaaS-based or an online cloud suite of applications. We would like to call ourselves like an operating system for business. So any application that you may require for your company, we would have an application for that. It starts from emailing to project management, CRM, invoicing, bookkeeping, recruitment, people management, whatever it may be. So we have an application for that. We have close to about 45 applications on the cloud now, and this is primarily for our Zoho. We also have WebNMS, our IoT platform, and we also have a Manage Engine, the server platform as well. Specific to Zoho Recruit, as you spoke about, we are about 10 years now. Zoho was primarily started in 1996. And we eventually grown from the emailing platform, document sharing platform to where we are today. We have more than 45 million customers across the globe. We serve 24x5, and specific to recruitment, we have Zoho Recruit. We also have a people management platform called Zoho People as well, which kind of collaborates with your HRIS platform.
Okay, I didn't know that. What does that do? Is it just it's more like an HRIS?
Yeah, it does again the end-to-end functionality for hiring to retiring per se. It's like you do your leave management, or you can have your payroll integration, timesheets, or your rostering, leave management, and all that. You can also have 360-degree feedbacks, and it also boils down to your benefits if in case you have any additional software for that as well.
Gotcha. Okay. So I always thought of Zoho Recruit as kind of an SMB type of platform. It's really inexpensive for the average company out there, whether it's a staffing agency or an employer or it's a third-party recruiter out there. Your pricing, I'll just quickly break it down for everyone. It's $22 a month if you pay upfront for the year. 45 or 67. Those are the tiers. Do you want to just talk to us about what you get in those certain tiers there, and just give us a quick overview?
Sure. Just to clarify, yeah, of course, we kind of target the small, medium businesses, but we also have a lot of enterprise customers that use the product. So which is why we have the tier standard, professional, and enterprise. So standard comes up with a basic package where you get your resume parsing, your sourcing, or any reporting that you want to run, emailing, and all that. Professional gets you the next level where you want to do, let's say, custom reporting, or you want to have a resume inbox where you have a catch-all address where you want all the emails to be parsed, and so on. We also have the additional screening assessments and automatic reviews for semantic searches built up in the professional edition. Enterprise, of course, we also have the additional tier here for automation, workflow management. We also have something called Blueprint, where you define what the process, your recruitment process should be.
Yeah.
And a lot more customization and workflow management capabilities are built up in enterprise.
For the enterprise customers, is that price point per seat, or do you work it differently?
For now, it's just going to be per recruiter. Let's say you have interviewers in your company, they don't pay anything. So it's just your recruiters that are going to work on it. So the administrators in the account. So let's say I have 5 recruiters in my company, but there are let's say 20 different managers who are just going to be there interviewing. Then you just only pay for those 5 recruiters. So that is the price point here is $22 if you pay yearly for just those 5 recruiters in this case.
Awesome. Good. Are you? How big are you guys in the U.S.? I mean, you're a global company, of course. But how would you characterize your presence here in the U.S.?
US is our number one market, as we discussed earlier. Roughly about, let's say, I would say about 60 to 70% of our businesses come from US. Of course, we have our primary data center in US, but being a global company, we all have offices across the globe now, like in Europe, Japan, Singapore, India, of course, China as well. We're trying to slowly maybe branch out from US from our focus to back in India and Europe. We also have starting to concentrate in Asia Pacific and Australia, New Zealand now. We're coming up with new data centers for that. One of the primary reasons, again, is each country or the region requires their own data centers to be there physically located in that country. So, which is why we have in India, China, Japan, and like we're coming up with something in Australia right now. So our focus in US, it's primarily broad. Like we have, let's say, job board integrations. Like at least 80% of our integrations would be primarily from US for job boards and sourcing. But we also concentrate on other regions as well, depending on where we get our customers from.
Yeah, and you're building a new headquarters in Austin, Texas, right?
Yeah, correct. So we are primarily based out of Pleasanton, a bit of San Francisco. We're just moving to Austin. We already have an office that holds about 50, 70 people as of now. We're trying to build something for about maybe a few hundreds there. I think quickly in a year or two, we'll be having at least a couple of hundred people working out of our Austin office.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I got to give a quick shout out to my friends over at HireTool. I just saw you guys did a partnership with them.
Yeah, we did. Like we kind of have an open marketplace right now. So any vendor that requires integration, they can just sign up and get it integrated. If you are a developer, we also have a developer console, like where you could just build your app on top of Zoho or just get integrated together. Yep. We do our own integrations from our side. For example, background checks, we have Checker, and we're kind of working with TransUnion right now to get it integrated. So any integration or anything that to do with, let's say, using a third-party system, we'll be able to get it integrated together.
Very good. Okay. Last question before we get to the demo is, what's your one favorite feature of the product?
I would like to say customization. So a lot many ATS are there in the platform right now, but we want to be more easy to use and customizable. So you just simply drag and drop a bunch of fields. It's just not just specific to the layout, but the overall access of the product. You can customize whatever you want. You want to change the colors, fine. You want to move the fields. You want to customize the automation part, fine. Whatever you want to do, the accessibility for like an end-to-end customization, that is why we offer as like a point of sale that we want to push it across.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right, Anant, well, I'll let you take over here and you can share your screen. And I think you got the slides for us, and we'll see a live demo afterwards, right?
Perfect, yeah. Let me first take you through a presentation right now. Just a second. So it's just going to be a quick product overview of what the product does and a quick recap into Zoho, as I was talking about. What is Zoho? So we are primarily a cloud software suite company. We offer business applications on the cloud. We are in business about 21 plus years now. We started in 1996. We have 40 plus applications. We have customers across the globe, more than 200 countries right now. We have 45 million plus customers, and our employee strength is about more than 8,000 right now. And we're primarily based out of India. Our R&D is based out of India, but we have offices across the globe now. To point with your US office, as we're speaking about, our new headquarters is going to be built up in Austin, a huge place we have bought up there. We also have offices in Singapore, China, Japan, Australia, and across. Speaking of our customers, we have a diverse customer list here. This is specific to Zoho. Who's who of the business, they use Zoho. And specific to Zoho Recruit, we do have a lot of enterprise customers like Change.org, or like we used to be like Delta Airlines used to be a customer, and so on. So specific to Zoho Recruit, we give 3 different types of verticals here. It's a smart automated recruitment solution that we offer for both your staffing agencies or a corporate recruiter, or even if you're into temp staffing business where you just have a dedicated list of candidates or temps that you want to employ with. We also give you a temporary staffing solution as well. It's called Zoho Workly. They're all built up on the same platform, so it's straightforward and easy to use. You switch from one system to another, it's just going to be the same. And the data kind of flows from one to another as well. Speaking of data, as we're speaking about the data centers, right now we have in US our primary data centers. Specific to Europe and GDPR, we have a data center in Ireland and the Netherlands, and also specific to China, Beijing and Shanghai, Chennai and in Mumbai for our Asia Pacific, and we're building a couple of data centers in Australia as well. So what are the key capabilities of the product? The primary one would be the sourcing aspect, where we have more than 60 plus job boards where you'll be able to publish the jobs. We also have source boosters where you can not just publish the jobs, but also find candidates from them. You can also parse candidate resumes from your email, computer, or cloud drive, wherever it may be. A candidate sends you an email or gives you a resume in any format, like you will just be able to plug that into the system automatically. And for integration, we have Google Apps and Outlook integration. We also have a single sign-on integration where you have a Google Apps account, you'll be able to directly sign into Zoho. You have a Microsoft Outlook account. We also have a marketplace integration. So you can just simply directly use your Microsoft account to log into Zoho. You offer open APIs, deluge and webhook capabilities. What does that mean? Any integration that you want to do. So it's just maybe something like I'm working on the product right now, but I want my payroll system to be integrated. We give you direct open API access. We don't charge you anything for that. So you just simply plug and play. So if you have a developer in-house, they'll be able to get it going in no time. We also have an automation and workflow management option here. Why is it powerful? One, it not just helps you send automatic email alerts, but you also do custom functions on top of it. What are these custom functions? One, about the open APIs, we're talking about any integration you want to touch base from Zoho to any third-party system, you'll be able to plug it together. You can write your own code on top of Zoho to have the functions that you require. And the data would flow through automatically to our reports and dashboards. So you can create your own custom reports, schedule them via emails, have it exported in any format that you require. And for the candidates, we offer offer letter management and digital signatures. So you can generate your own offers within the system, have it sent to the candidates where they can digitally accept it, reject it. All those statuses and interactions are contextually saved within the candidate records. We are also GDPR compliant, ISO, IEC certification. We are SOC2 Type 2 compliant. So your data is always safe and secure. One point here is that Zoho does not have an ad revenue model. So we never use ads or kind of pry on your data. So your data is owned by you. So we don't really touch your data. And that is why we are kind of very strong in security. So we value your privacy. So touch free to download the data at any point in time if required.
Now I have a question.
Yep.
Do you integrate with the new Google for Jobs yet?
It's in beta right now, so in maybe a couple of weeks time, we should be live. So, but yeah, it's already like if in case we already have a customer, we would be able to get them integrated. It would be working as we speak, it's just that we're doing some last minute kind of touch fine tuning.
Yep. Also, Facebook just announced recently that they're allowing ATSs to hook into their job board. Any plans there?
Yep. We are already integrated with Facebook Jobs.
You are?
Yep.
So how does that work? Is it just basically it's automatically done when as soon as they publish, they go out to their?
So you publish a job, it automatically picks up. You would be configuring your Facebook account where if you already have a job section, it will just go in there. Any job that you publish will automatically go into that Facebook job section. So candidates can view and apply from there.
Good stuff. Thanks.
Yeah. So core product features, employee referral, candidate relationship management, applicant tracking, interview scheduling, and from that offer generation, reports, workflows, and integrations. We'll go through each one of these in detail in a few minutes. So what does it cover specific to Zoho? Zoho Recruitment, it starts from, as I said, your candidate is brought into the system, you parse their resumes, you shortlist them, like we have pre-screening questionnaires that helps you assess the candidate, schedule interviews. Once these candidates are hired, you will then be able to create reports on top of it, dashboards. You can schedule multiple rounds of follow-ups, be it interviews, tasks, and events. These jobs can be published as, let's say, broadcasted online. So we have, as I said, 60 plus job boards where it can be like, for example, you use ZipRecruiter, they would then be posting it to hundreds of other job boards as well. So we have something like a resume library for US, CV library for Europe, and so on. So depending on where your actual client and the candidate is residing, so you would be able to broadcast them across the globe. For all of these events that you create, you'll be having a set reminders that you can do it. We also have a mobile app that can help in getting you reminded about the interview or task that you have. We have automation inbuilt into the system to send you email alerts automatically or update some fields or schedule interviews automatically and so on. We give you efficient filters, not just the search options, but we also give you database filters where you can apply multiple on top of it. Like, for example, I want 5 years candidate, 5 years Java experience candidates, specifically, let's say 5 miles from London. And the system will just give you an efficient filtering process, and it will also rate the candidates on how much they score specific to the job opening. All the interviews you schedule, you'll be able to sync them into your own calendar, be it Outlook, Google, whatever calendar you use, you'll be able to sync them. Of course, as I said, we also have a mobile app integration. You'll also be able to sync it to your mobile calendar as well. We have a telephony and text messaging. So we have Twilio, RingCentral. We also give you message media for text messaging and so on. And finally, as we spoke about, the offer letters and digital signatures as well. So where does this take? It's an end-to-end integration software here, from Google Suite to Facebook, Twitter, Outlook, LinkedIn. Whatever major integration that you're looking at, we give you most of it out of the box, including Zapier. Anything more, we give you custom functions to write your own options, or we have an extensive marketplace where the vendor can sign up and build it together, or our developers can help it build it for you depending on the requirements that is there. So what is coming? Of course, we are trying to include as many job boards as possible. We are coming up with a smart apply feature where it'll automatically pick up the social details and put it together as a candidate profile. We are kind of working on the EEO compliance. Of course, you can have your own EEO compliance in the system by creating custom values, but we're coming up with a proper reporting metric on top of that. And the marketplace is evolving. As we're speaking about the Google for Jobs, that is something we're working on. It's in final beta stage. Maybe in a few weeks, it should be there. And we have a revamped career portal where you can embed your actual careers page developed in Zoho to your website page. We're coming up with candidate enrichment. What does that mean? Let's say a candidate applied for you 2 years ago. You can automatically enrich the candidate's details with what they're working on, what are the new skill sets, and so on. And the advanced metrics, like with our Zoho Analytics integration, and finally the video interviews feature. So most of these they're expected in the next few weeks to few months. So depending on the actual final release dates. Of course, most of our customers would have a beta access or early access, depending on if in case you requested for Google for Jobs, you would be the first one to get it, so that you can go through your own testing and give us feedback if you want something changed or any feedback that you want to give us on the feature as well.
With the video interviews, are you building your own platform there? Are you partnering with somebody else?
We have Zoho Meeting. So back to the same point, why we have 45 plus applications. So you have a business need. Instead of going to a new vendor for an integration like Video Hire, then we use Zoho Meeting, our own inbuilt platform for the video interview. Of course, if in case like Snap Hire or something similar, if in case customers are requesting for it, we would be able to get them integrated. But in the next few weeks, I think roughly about 2-3 weeks, the video interview would be out.
Yeah. Are you finding
inbuilt with Zoho?
Are you finding your clients want to do more video interviews?
We do, a lot of them. So kind of people are moving away from the SMS or physical interviews to video interviews right now. A lot of things happen in remote these days. Even the employment, people are preferring remote workers. So hardly people would require to travel to the office and take up these interviews. So we're kind of seeing a trend where the usual phone interviews are moved away into video interviews right now. Of course, a lot of this happen via Skype these days. Providing a platform for video is going to help a lot for our customers, because all these data are tracked contextually. So you'll be able to check the recordings if required, or give feedback on those interviews, or another person can review the video answers and then rate them as well. So that is what we're trying to build upon.
And one more question just came in. Text interviews. Do you have any kind of texting automation built in?
Yes, we do. So we have an SMS integration text integration here. So whenever you schedule interviews, you can send a text message to the candidates and to the interviewers with the link or details that they need.
Gotcha. Thanks.
A regular example would be candidates where, for example, you have scheduled a Zoom interview, just as an example, then the link to the Zoom interview can be created in the interview record. So whenever an interview is scheduled, then the link is automatically sent to the candidate by SMS text messaging. On top of it, WhatsApp, I think trying to build on top of it right now. So it's primarily with the WhatsApp business kind of having a rise now, and customers are requesting for it as well. And moving on to customer support. So what we offer a 30-day end-to-end product training and assistance. We give you implementation and migration assistance, data migration. Priority support once the onboarding is complete for the next few days, a few weeks. We offer 24/5, Monday to Friday, phone, email, and live chat. Of course, we do on-site training and implementation whenever that is required as well. Speaking of pricing, we of course spoke about it earlier. We offer standard, professional, and enterprise. If you buy it month to month, it's 25. If you go yearly, it's 22.5. So you get a 10% discount by default whenever you go to an yearly plan. So this is like what are the features that you get specific to the plan. So most of it is basic in the standard plan. Of course, it is more than enough if you're just starting up to evaluate. But of course, we have functions like custom functions, territory management, blueprint, employee referral, vendor portal, and so on our enterprise edition as well. So depending on what are the feature sets that you're looking at, we'd be able to give you a better plan that suits you. So going into product now, so this is the homepage for Zoho Recruit. So any user who logs into the system, they would be greeted to the homepage here where you will have widgets. So these are called widgets where each user can configure what they want to see. First one will be the pipeline where you can quickly review what are all the jobs you have and what stages is they currently in. So whatever is the final stage, you get the final color over there. And of course, the activity log, I can review which user is doing what are my candidates, statuses, and so on. So as I said, these are configurable. You can choose what are the widgets that you want to see, where you want to see it, and so on. You can just simply drag and change them in a way you want as well. If you're a staffing agency, you will have something called clients and contacts. Clients are companies you deal with. Contacts are point of contacts for those companies. So let's say Zoho is a client. So you can review who is Zoho, who are your contacts, what are the jobs they've given you, and so on. Speaking of clients, we have something called a client portal feature where you give your clients access to review the jobs they've submitted. Clients can even create jobs from their portal and give you access as well. So you need not manually type those jobs or import them. It just kind of saves redundancy and helps you get the candidate as quick as possible. Once a client is added, you will be able to add the contacts, review who are the contacts. You can review the job openings. If you have a new job opening, you can click on new job here, or you can just simply head over to job openings, click on. This is our quick preview feature. You will be able to review what all the details, what are the description notes, whatever that is added there. Once a job opening is added, you'll be able to publish them to multiple sources. We call it the sourcing summary here, where you can publish them to the sources that is required. So you can click on publish. Depending on the location of the job, we give you a lot of pre-bundled job board integration options here. So for example, the resume library has given an exclusive offer for Zoho Recruit for $59. So if you can use ZipRecruiter, for example, where you want to use Double Booster, depending on what you already use, you can just simply integrate that same account. Let's say for US, we use Indeed a lot. Then if you already have an Indeed account, you can request your account manager to link the Zoho Recruit account to your Indeed account, or you can just simply email us. We'll just get it done through our partner as well. So as I said, depending on the location for that job, we give you the job boards. We split it into premium jobs as well as free jobs. So of course, Indeed also has, if you're an internal company, Indeed gives you the organic posting. ZipRecruiter gives you an organic posting and so on. The social job boards like Facebook, Twitter, that is again free, of course. LinkedIn right now has come up with something called limited listings. So you can directly post jobs to your wall instead of your job slot. So depending on where you want the jobs to be posted, you can just choose the specific job board, fill up the details they're requesting, and the job would be posted. Most of the premium job boards, they're published instantly. Options like Indeed or a few others may take up to 24 hours for the job to get published. Career site, this is your Zoho's career website page feature. So once it is selected, we provide you with a default page which gives you all the jobs that you published. You can choose what application form you want and what sort of an assessment you're looking at. So what are assessments? These are pre-screening questionnaires that the candidate must fill at the time of application. So why is this helpful? Like, you obviously know that at least about 30–40% of the candidates that apply for every job may not be a fit at all. Instead of you manually selecting or rejecting them, the system automatically does that for you. All you need to do is to create an assessment, and at the time of assessment, you will be able to choose a scoring option there. Like, what should the actual answer be? If in case they don't have the right answer, you can just grade them out. And if this rating of the candidate goes below a certain value, then you can automatically disqualify them, that is, unqualify those candidates as well. So whenever you add a question, you'll be able to choose what sort of a question it's going to be, make it mandatory, what should be the value. Let's say I'm having a radio button here. Are you willing to relocate? A simple option, are you willing to relocate? So I'm going to have 10 to 0. So I don't want candidates who are not ready to relocate because I'm moving my office to Austin. So a very simple question here. I can keep it as a qualifier question, which will make sure if in case I say no, the candidate is automatically unqualified. So this is an option. It's just an example. Yep. It could be something similar to a Java programmer interview. Do you have programming skills? Yes and no. If I don't have, then I'm not qualified for that.
Is there a best practice, like how many pre-screen questions are too many?
Ideally, we offer we give you some examples within the product itself. I would think maybe about 5 questions will be good for the candidate. Primarily, like, candidates do not like to fill out big forms these days. All they want is just to attach a resume and then try to fill up. Maybe they can take up phone interviews, or if they're qualified, then answering them is going to be okay. But you provide them a lengthy form, let's say 40–50 questions, then I don't think we see a lot of fallout in candidate applications once the number of questions keep increasing over the web forms. So I think maybe roughly about 5 to 10 should be fine in my opinion, but it ideally boils down to what sort of job the candidate is applying for. So this is another example screening assessment that we offer. This is primarily done when you're done face-to-face. For example, a candidate comes up for an interview, you do your behavioral analysis, soft skill analysis, technical parameters, and rate them. This can either be done during a call or maybe in a face-to-face interview, or you can request the candidates to fill up in their own words what is their attitude about, what is their culture fit about, and so on. And you publish the job. For each job you publish, we also give a unique URL for the job, which you can then share to your colleagues or wherever that is required. The sourcing summary also gives you instant data of where your candidates are applying from. It gives you a chart information and so on.
I'd like to see like an example of a job listing on a career site, maybe. That would be nice.
Sure. The career site, as I was talking about, like, let me give you an example. This is a client of ours that uses Zoho for their publishing. What is career sites? It's primarily you build your own brand, your company's website, and you want the jobs to be listed. So as you could see here, the job listing is all done from Zoho. So a candidate can review it. They would not know that you're using Zoho to use the recruitment software for that matter. So all I see is just the job. I can just fill up these details. So all these information are fetched from Zoho and just being embedded to your own website page. So relatively simple, straightforward to integrate. It's just on how you would like to use it determines the career site feature.
Yep.
So going back, so as I said, we also give you unique job URLs. Let's say share this job. I can give you the URL. I can just directly go into that job, apply for it, and just fill up the details as well.
So any referral functionality built in for employee referrals?
Can you repeat that, sorry?
Is there any referral functionality built in for employee referrals?
Yes, we do. So specific to the internal version, we have employee referral where you can invite your users to come up and share details about the candidates that they want to refer. Apart from that, we also give you customizable application forms, which you can share internally, where they can just simply start referring candidates that they are interested to submit. So employee referral as a function, we already have it. This is primarily focused for internal corporate companies. For staffing agencies, we provide them with the application form, a standard application referral form, which they can use to submit candidates. On top of it, we also have something called a vendor portal feature. What this does is something similar to the referral. It's just that instead of employees submitting candidates, this is going to be external vendors that you may employ that would submit candidates. Depending on the submissions, they can be paid. This is an example for a vendor portal. Let me try to log in. So I have 2 jobs that were submitted to me. Sorry. So I don't have a resume that I've submitted. Let me try to submit one. It will try to parse the resume. So it will try to cross-check if the candidate is already part of the system. If not, it'll just try to give you the details. It cross-check the details here. And you can submit the candidate. And you can just review that the candidate already exists. Let me try to change the email. So primarily, we'll use the email ID functionality for detecting candidates, the candidate duplication. You can also configure to, let's say, additional fields as well for duplication checks as well. It could be something like a passport number or visa number, SSN number. Again, it depends on what you would like to do. You can even use mobile numbers. You can just simply choose do not allow duplicates, and you can save it as well. So going back, we discussed how to add clients, contacts, the job openings. If you're an internal company, the same process applies. It's just that for a specific job opening, instead of a client or contact, you will have departments and departmental managers. So the hiring managers would be replaced by the account managers here. So one unique feature specific to Zoho, we also have something called ZIA, that is intelligent automation concept. It's again kind of artificial intelligence or semantic search, as people call it. We give you candidate matches for the jobs that you have, and for candidates, we give you job opening matches. It rates people specific to the skill set that they have. You can review these candidates and add them to the jobs. So these are the skill set that the system is determining from their resume. And from there on, you will be able to add them into the job opening as well. Just quickly associate them as well.
It's a nice feature.
Thank you. So once these candidates are associated, you can just go to associated candidates, review where these candidates are applying from. Again, this gives you the percentage match for each candidate that is applying. What if in case you have other candidates that you want to sync? You will use import feature. You can use import from spreadsheet. Let's say I'm just choosing random 2 resumes. You can choose if in case a duplicate is found, what do you want to do? You want to skip it, you want to overwrite it, or you want to clone it, of course. You would do candidates, but again, it depends. So by default, we use email ID for the duplicate check. You can include your own custom options as well if needed. Oops, chose the wrong option. Let's import from document, the resume parsing option. You'll also be able to choose what job you want to link these candidates into and what would be the source of these candidates. And you can import them. So these resumes, as I was talking about, this could be sitting in your computer or your Google Drive or Box Drive. That could be in your own emails or maybe even in your USB drive or whatever. So I can just simply attach these together from the system. So when you go into import, we give you the other options called paste the resume. You just copy paste it, or you extract it from LinkedIn, for example, or any other external website that you use for data extraction. We give you a Google Chrome plugin. So you just simply select the text and click the button, data gets over. Or if data is in Excel format, you use import from spreadsheet. If in case you have our Zoho CRM user, then the data is automatically synced from Zoho CRM. It's a two-way sync for any data that you put in, your leads, potentials, contacts, clients, all these get synced into Zoho Recruit automatically. So
how flexible is your workflow creation?
Going into setup, the workflow is kind of extensive here. Just a second, just having some trouble with the connectivity. So going back into workflows, so we give you rules that you can create specifically for alerts to be triggered, tasks to be created, some random fields to be updated. We have webhooks and custom functions as our external integrations. So let's take an example. I want to have a candidate workflow, let's say qualified. I want to trigger an alert whenever a candidate gets qualified for a job. So status changes from anything to qualified. These are the workflow options we offer. The workflow can be triggered specifically when a record is created, updated, some field value gets updated in a record, or the candidate is qualified, rejected, hired, and so on, or whenever they apply, or even when it is deleted. There's one more option called on a date field value. So what does this do? It's like, for example, you want to send a happy birthday template to a candidate. So you choose the date of birth. Or I want to do something like the last mail date is last week. Every 2 weeks, I should send an email to the candidate, just keeping them informed. So there are a wide variety of use cases for this. So the commonly used one is when candidates apply or when their status is changed. Let's take qualified as an example. You can also set records that match a certain criteria. For example, I have a list of jobs that I want candidates to be notified, a set of jobs that candidates should not be notified. Let's say premium jobs versus low-cost jobs, for example. Then I can just set job opening rule or a candidate-based rule as well. For now, I'm just going to choose all records. Instant actions and scheduled actions. So what is scheduled action? This should happen, let's say 2 days from today, or 2 days from when the candidate is qualified. A common example will be candidate is rejected in an interview. You don't want the email to go immediately once the system says that the candidate is rejected. You want to say 2 days after they come in or 1 day after they come in, you send an email. Instant actions is when it happens instantly. So you reject a candidate, the email goes out, an SMS, text messaging I was talking about, or you can create tasks to be done. What are these done? A candidate is qualified. You can create a task to the recruiter requesting them to check for interview slots or do their background checks, or reference checks, whatever that needs to be done, you'll be able to do that. So speaking of extensive, the other options are field updates. So why would someone do that? Like, for example, whenever somebody applies for a premium job opening, you update a field in the candidate record saying the candidate's a premium candidate, or add a tag for that matter. Webhooks custom functions. So webhooks is primarily a hook that connects two different web applications. A common example will be you don't want to use our text messaging vendor that we have, but you have built your own text messaging solution, for example. Then you use webhooks to call the URL that you want to use from the system. Or the other example could be to do with the payroll, for example. Whenever a candidate is hired, I want to use my payroll URL to notify that the candidate details needs to be pushed from Zoho to my payroll system. And finally, custom functions. So this is an extensive option. primarily you can build something on top of Zoho right with this. We have something called Deluge. It's a scripting platform. You can write your own custom function. A common example could be, I want to calculate, let's say, the age of a candidate. So every year it should automatically calculate the age and update it somewhere. Or I want to calculate how many times the candidate has been emailed. Or it could be like how many times the candidate has been submitted. So the possibilities are endless here. You write whatever the functionality that you require, which you think that should be an extension of the workflow concept. So you just write your own script, save it. You can execute it as many times as you want. We also give some random examples in our gallery. For example, you can score candidates and automatically reject them as well. So we saw that during the screening phase in pre-screening. You can also do that, achieve that with the custom functions as well. If the candidate is, let's say, 5 years experience or lesser, and if they do not have, let's say, a bachelor's degree, reject them. A very random example. So this is something where you can cross-check the field-based values, and from those field values, you can select, reject, send email, whatever functionality you want to achieve, you'll be able to do that. So going back to candidates. So we have the candidates. For example, this is a candidate we just added. These are the details of the candidate. What are the education, experience? So this is a founder of BookoBox, and you want to link them to a very good job opening. So you select, you can link them to a specific job opening.
How's your candidate search functionality?
Sure. I was just going to get there. So you find the candidate, you can just simply select them. The other option is we give you basic and advanced, and also the filtering process here. I can do something like, I want to look at Microsoft Office, for example. Wherever candidates that matches these Microsoft Office, it will come up. The other option is you have the advanced search, where you find out, as we were talking about, I want candidates 50 miles from, let's say, San Jose. You can review the candidates, let's say, I want Java candidates from that. If in case there are candidates, it would come up. So from which you'll be able to review them. What are all the details? So this candidate is from San Jose. Or you can just, again, change the keywords, go back to advanced search. I don't want the radius search, but I want something like years, experience in years is greater than 4, and skill set contains Java. Again, I can change these patterns as I keep adding. I would also be able to change the pattern in what I search. For example, I want to search 1 and 2, and, or it could be like, or 3 and 4. This helps you narrow down to the search that you want. So in most systems, you'll be able to check, I want candidates 4 years and Java. You do a search, or you do another search which says, I want candidates 2 years and JSP or jQuery, whatever that you want. But in this system, you'll be able to change the keywords in a way that you want. Let me just cancel this. And you'll be able to change the pattern. 3 and 4, whichever keywords that you want to do, you'll be able to do it. No candidates here.
Got about 15 minutes left enough.
Yep. So you can just simply change that. From here, you'll be able to select the candidates that match your search. You can send them an email, text message. You can directly submit it to your client or hiring manager for approvals. And again, speaking of that, the client can directly approve or reject from the client portal. They don't have to go to the email, but they simply log into the portal that they have, review all the candidates in one go, and approve, reject them as needed. You also have the options to associate them to a specific job, generate their formatted resume. So what is a formatted resume? Instead of the candidate's resume being sent to the client, you can generate a branded version of their resume. So it can have your own logo, watermarks, choose what details to show, what it shouldn't.
That's cool.
Let's say I'm going to choose the junior specialist opening here and associate them. The other option is the filters that is over here. So what is the difference is primarily you can keep adding as many as you want here. It's just quick and easy. I want to review my profile, so I can just cross-check how many times I have been added here. Or you can just choose it's empty. I want to review candidates who did not provide a proper first name or last name. Or I want to review candidates that had a title manager, and so on. So from here, I can just select, send them an email, submit to manager, and so on. The process moves on from there. So it's kind of, again, is extensive because you can keep adding as you want, and you can create your own custom views just based on this. So I can create a view for candidates that are primarily from San Jose, one for New York, and use those to send emailers that they want. I can send targeted emailers or text messages or specific job openings that I want. So every time I need not use the search functionality, but just use these as custom views. So whenever I know that there's a new New York job opening, I can just go to this and select those candidates and associate them instead of doing a search. It's just faster that way.
Nice.
Going back to the job, so I can open the job, review who are the candidates that are there, who was submitted it. I can open those candidates. Let's say this is a candidate that we have. We can then schedule an interview. So this is the match we were talking about. This is the semantics matching and the percentage. So the system rates the candidates based on the skill set they've offered plus the skill set that is there in the job they've applied for. So this rating changes.
Can you put a resume in there at all?
In this candidate, yes, there is a resume.
But can you preview it though from?
Yep. If it's a PDF, it opens up in a new folder. If it's a document, it just reviews within. So this would be the candidate resume. So from here, I can schedule an interview. Let's say I'm going to have a level 1 interview. I can choose who's going to be the interviewer. Again, it's partly that the user itself can be the interviewer, or I can invite the client to be part of the interview panel as well. You can schedule the interview. I can send automatic emails to the interviewer. Yes, please go ahead.
How often do you guys iterate in terms of new features, things like that? I'm curious what your cadence is like or schedule is like for that.
As of now, we don't have a integration in place for the time schedulers, but the calendar integration is already there, specific to Outlook or Gmail or any other third-party system. So we offer .ics file, the calendar information. So it kind of adds in automatically to the calendars, to the interviewer or to the candidate.
Sorry. As far as new features, though, are you guys pushing out stuff every year?
We do every few weeks, to be honest. So whenever there's a new feature, so there would be users will be notified. So for example, we last May, I guess, we had the vendor portal feature. We had the ZIA, the candidate matching feature that came up. So these are all that were updated in May. Similarly, we had a bunch more in April and so on. So we have our what's new page, which kind of talks in elaborate fashion of what are the features, what we have been doing, and so on.
Yeah. And quickly, can I see what the analytics look like?
Sure. So from this, the data goes on to the reports. So it's a very straightforward report of what are the status of the jobs, who's the recruiter, title, and so on. So you can create a chart on top of it. You can choose what sort of a chart you want. So pie chart, horizontal bar, line, area, and so on. We give you, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna see. I want to see like your sources of traffic kind of report, that kind of stuff.
For the job openings?
Yeah.
Just a second.
Okay.
No, not this. I can quickly create one.
So you're building a report here?
Yeah, I'm just building a report. So source. It's a random option here. So I think a lot of them are parser and so on. So you can keep changing it as you want.
Nice.
The grouping can be changed as needed.
Yeah.
Again, the same process for filtering and criteria. They just keep changing as required.
That's been pretty good. Is there anything else you want to show us before we leave?
Sure. The data, again, the chart view information can be pushed into dashboards, from dashboard into the homepage as well. We have the email integration. So any emails that you send will be contextually displayed within the candidate profile. So instead of going into the email section and review them, but you can just directly go into candidate profiles, contextually review them. And a few other features like the client portal and vendor portal we're talking about, where you give them additional access for those users to review them. So in this case, I can check who the vendors themselves can check who are the candidates they've submitted. If in case they're hired, they can claim a payout and so on. So this is the email. You also review if the emails has been received, bounced, if in case the candidate really clicked on the link and so on. So the email analytics is also inbuilt into the system. Interview evaluation, again, the interviewer can log in and give their feedback, whether the candidate was a good one, bad one. They can attach their details. And all this can also be done from mobile app. So they don't have to have the computer going around, but they simply use a mobile app, take photos if in case it's going to be a written interview. All of that can be done. And a few others, as we spoke about, Checker is the background check that we integrate with as of now. So candidates can be quickly sent to their background screening checks. They can do their online checking for their, maybe anything to do with their employment, pre-employment screening, or background checks for any police history cases, whatever that needs to be done through Checker, they can do it. We also have the offer letter management, e-signing using DocuSign, Zoho Sign, and all.
So there's some onboarding built in there.
Yep. So this kind of talks to Zoho people as well. So once the candidate is hired, you push that into Zoho people as an employee. Or if in case you have an additional, let's say we're working with Bamboo HR for a possible integration. So a candidate can be pushed into Bamboo HR as a new employee record if in case needed.
Yeah. Well, this has been pretty good. I mean, I think I could sum this up by saying that we offer a lot of functionality for very little price.
Yep.
So,
right. Thank you. Of course, there's a bunch of new features that are explored that I couldn't speak about, like Blueprint or Marketplace or extensive APIs and so on. So if there's much more, you can just send me an email and we can discuss further.
Yeah, feel free to put your email in the chat there and tell the audience where you guys are going to be this year as far as conferences goes. I think you have a slide for that.
Sure. Maybe sometime next month in August, we'll be back in India doing a bunch of roadshows. And after that, from September, we'll be in Dubai, Australia for a couple of events, Birmingham, Paris, 2 back-to-back events in Vegas, and finally in Dubai in November. So I think we should be meeting a lot of people from the HR Tech, Women in HR Technology in Vegas, October 1st week, or if not, for the staffing world in Vegas again.
Yeah, well, I'll be there, and I'll also stop by the Zoho Recruit booth. You got a t-shirt
Sure.
for me?
Yep.
All right. I want one of those. Well, Anant, I appreciate your time today. Thanks for staying late there at work in India.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Did a great job with the presentation, and
thank you.
We'll look forward to hearing from you guys again when you have some more news. So definitely stay in touch.
Thank you so much.
And we'll get this replay out there very shortly. And thanks to everyone who's attended as well. I don't have anything scheduled at the moment for webinars, possibly something with Phenom People coming up at the end of July. And I will notify you guys when that's coming out. So, but Anant, again, thanks for your time. And
thank you so much.
Great to have you here on RegTech Live.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
All right. See you, everybody. See you next time.
Bye. Bye.